All right, everyone, let's get started. Please silence your cell phones. For visitors and guests, my name is Joe Patchen. I'm the president of the club, and I'd like to welcome you to the third meeting, 51st year of the Dublin Bridgeton Rotary Club. Our invocation will be offered by Tom Rice.
Let us pray. Dear God, we thank you for the gift of this day and this time together. We praise you for the blessing of Rotary and the opportunity to be part of something so much bigger than ourselves. Through Rotary, you connect us to friends around the world, and we receive back much more than we can ever give to these relationships. Thank you for the international service projects and the hard work and creative thinking that go into them. Please bless this meal and this time of celebrating how we embody service above self, far, far beyond our doorsteps. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And we're going to do a little round robin of introducing, because we are blessed with a number of guests here today. I'm pleased to say, and I'm pleased to lead us off with introduction of our guest, former district governor, my law partner, and my model in semi-retirement. I'm not going to dress like that. Brett Rosenthal.
I'll put on your long pants just for you.
Then it's true, when he comes into the office, that it's not even that good. Oh, Chuck Taylor, I'm gonna get Judy to introduce you.
Want to meet my friend again, Chuck Taylor? He's come back, so I guess you were nice to him last time. I appreciate that. Keep being nice.
I know. But wait, there's more. In a similar vein, Scott is going to reintroduce Elliot, who is returning to us in 2 weeks in a row too.
Ben Doley, he's a professor at Ohio State, and this is his second meeting, so yes, he's ready to come back a few more times. He's come through the first couple meetings just well.
Welcome. And Ro, you get to do an introduction of our exchange. Yes, please. She's going to speak in a little bit as well.
I'd like to introduce Lucia. Some of you may remember last year, she is a exchange student that our club sponsored. She traveled this past year to Japan and just got back in July. She's going to share a little bit today about her experience, and then we're going to have her back to do a presentation at another time. So please welcome her back.
And Dave wins because he brought two guests.
I'm so pleased to have with our granddaughters, Julia and Josephine Zalashevsky. Josephine just graduated from Case Western Reserve Biochemistry, and Julia just graduated in the Netherlands, an undergraduate in international education. They're with us for the summer. And
Wonderful. Thank you. And it is now time for announcements, and whosoever has some, come on up, please.
Hi, on behalf of the Community Service Committee, I would like to remind everybody that we are scheduled to make dinner at Ronald McDonald House on the 15th of September, which is a Monday. And I have a list of those who are interested in participating, and we need a team of about 10. And I will be calling select people on the list to try to recruit you for, the fund and, good work we'll do on the 15th of September. You've been warned.
It was an opportunity, not a threat. That's true.
Okay, usually at the installation banquet, we give a current year president pin to our new president, and they were back ordered this year, so there is your president pin.
Thank you very much. And I think everybody may be aware that we have a service project, but our chair of our community service group didn't come up here because he was on vacation. He may have forgotten.
Which one?
Bloody boxes. Okay, yeah, August 20th. And we're gonna tack a rah on the end of that, so come to both or either.
When is it again, Joe?
August 28th. The event is at the Family Mentor Foundation, and the rah is gonna be at the Shakers Public House, which is on East Dublin Grandview Road.
No, East,
East Wilson Bridge, what did I say? East Wilson Bridge Road, sorry. Thank you, east west. So that is more than I know. Now, our sergeant was gonna be Alan, but, Ken, you wanna pop in as a sub?
do I want to or am I willing to?
Whichever one's relevant, I think it's, are you willing? Yeah. Thank you.
John, I wish that were true. I actually saw the other day a videotape of my golf swing. And because of back issues, my swing has gotten so short, I'm not flexible. That's a problem.
Well, who thought anything about your being short? Why?
Not that we have a young lady here who's almost my height. And she's glad to be tall, so. Happy dollars, who's got them? I'm winging this. Yes, sir.
I got one for our treasurer. I see that, I did see him on the screen, but I see his name, Jerry. I'm glad you're back and hopefully you're doing well and we'll be back physically soon in this meeting.
So, Jerry, about 10 days ago had gallbladder surgery and he's recuperating. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, Jerry.
And he went to the doctor, was it yesterday? I don't know if he can hear us. Maybe the doctor said you're not going out again. I don't know.
The doctor's appointment was yesterday. She said a bunch of lies. She said you can drive. Well, that was true. She said you look great.
Is that true?
Okay, good. Thanks for the update.
Apparently not. Who else has happy bucks? Back table.
I'll contribute two of them. Yes, I was on vacation. We got to go to upstate New York, including Niagara Falls. And another one because with Rose's assistance, my wife and I will be taking a vacation to the United Kingdom in September and early October. So
Good for you. Good time to go.
Visit a presidential library or something like that in Sludge Creek?
we visited former Secretary of State Wade Seward. So
Okay.
Next.
I'm happy to be here, number one, and to see old dear friend Peggy Murgatroyd. I was new in the district work when Peggy was district governor. And I'm also thrilled that Darnell is going to be district governor. For the most part here, because Joe told me he was president of the club. And my initial reaction was, what the? Then I go, well, they got Peggy, they got Darnell, so they must know what.
I hit the bonus this week, getting 5, because I have several happy dollar reason. First of all, I'm celebrating my 44th wedding anniversary by going on a cruise to Alaska. So I double hit there. And my granddaughter, who just has finished up her first year at Seneca College, writing her first book, and should be published. It's gotten a publisher's edition back due this week, so doing quite well.
Good for you. I always like to ask the men in the room, is your wife celebrating the anniversary also?
Well, Jim's announcement just reminded me, mine's tomorrow. My 54th.
Congratulations. Saw some other hands. Eric,
Peloton was on Saturday and I completed my 70th ride. And I got the pleasure of riding with Emily Pisondo for 10 miles. And then after that, she rode right up the hill. And of course, I was a little bit slower than she was. And I saw her again on mile 20.
So did you do the 100 miles then?
No, 24.
Oh, okay.
that's all right. Good for you. Peggy?
I too am glad that House District Governor Brent was with us today, and I don't know how many people know that he has a wide guitar collection, and maybe the next time he comes, he can strum a little tune for us, you know? Yeah.
Well, maybe we can have Eric Nesda on keyboards along with him. Anybody else? Pete?
Got $5 happy dollars, got about 5 items I want to quickly mention. Great to have Chuck back here with Judy, myself. Hope you took that off. Number two, Judy and I drove to St. Louis last Wednesday. We're not in the meeting last week. We're on the way to Washington University, St. Louis. Anybody been to that campus?
Yes.
Washington University, St. Louis. We've got 17,000 students, half grad and half undergraduate students. We have a very nice Beta Theta Pi chapter there. They hosted 525 people who were there for the 186th convention of my fraternity, Beta Theta Pi. Judy has been to 36 of those with me, and a few others, but 36. I've been to 53. And fourth or fifth item, the Miami chapter, the Alpha chapter, Beta Theta Pi won assistant award. That's 15 criteria that you're supposed to complete, along with 30 other chapters. And then 15 chapters won the Knox Award. That's 30 items that you have to complete during a year. And our chapter, the Alpha chapter, won their 6th in a row. Total 13, but 6th in a row since being refounded in 2016. Go Beta.
This isn't like just your average beta grad. Lifelong.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put in $1 because I was a Phi Delt, not a Beta. Alan?
But you were in the triad.
Well, I wanna put in a happy dollar for this nice weather we've had and a little bragging rights. I rode 5 miles on Saturday on my bike to get tuned up, at 15 on Sunday on the Owen Tansy Bike Trail. It's beautiful.
It is.
Lovely to be out.
Anybody else? Happy buck? If not, I got another one. I won't be here in 2 weeks.
Well, I'll put money for that.
My wife, I think you should. My wife and I are taking a 3-day bucket list trip to Colorado. I've always wanted to go to a concert at Red Rocks. Has anybody, I haven't been there. Has anybody here been to Red Rocks?
Your daughter.
Yeah, our son just came back.
To give you an idea how old I am, it's 270s bands, Hart and Todd Rundgren.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to see. Can't wait. Anybody else? Again? You're generous.
No, I thought, I was just indicating, I didn't know you would see you first time, so, and,
Okay, thank you.
Sergeant doesn't normally find himself, but I'm willing to do that.
That's a good job. You did a good job.
Who in the room has tickets to the Ohio State Texas game?
Ooh.
I'll be watching it on TV.
Everybody else throwing a buck.
You're gonna Alaska then or anything, are you?
No. Alan, you had ties to the Ohio State football program. What's your opinion of season ticket holders that sell their tickets that end up in the hands of the opposing fans? Because I had at the Tennessee game, I had 4 300-pound men wearing Tennessee gear sitting to my left, and I buy the little chairs so that people don't encroach on them. It didn't help. And I think the season ticket holders that sold those tickets that ended up in the opposing team fans' hands should be banned from being season ticket holders. Now, I'm completely serious. That shouldn't happen. Alan.
That shouldn't happen with Texans. They're tall and lanky, right?
I hope so. I don't want them on my seats. Any August birthdays? Well, besides myself,
Yeah,
you know the plan,
yeah.
throwing a buck.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just winging this. Any of you guys got something? Guys and gals have something?
I'm happy that Ken overcame his natural shyness. Appreciate it.
That's been a lifelong problem for me. Growing up in a family with 7 brothers and sisters, it was hard to get a word in. Believe me. Anything else?
That's good.
Have a great week.
John.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. If we can have our International Service Committee presenters come up. We are delighted today that we're gonna hear from all the various facets of our international service today. So Dave Kittredge, Dave Hansen, Tim Shear, and Jim Miller are all going to share the stage here and hand off to one another. And then please note on your table, John Butterfield has been kind enough and thoughtful enough to create a little piece of paper here for you. It's gonna be your kind of check-in on what you've heard and how you might like to follow up. Oh, excuse me. Would you like to hit the mic beforehand? How do we fit this in? Okay, come on up here. These guys are getting themselves organized anyhow. This is perfect. And this is a very nice coincidental time to hear from you
Yes.
on the same day as our international service.
Okay. Hello, my name is Lucia. I went to Japan from like August of 2024 to July of 2025. And I lived in a rural town in Japan, about 3 hours by car, north of Tokyo. So it was like sort of similar weather to here, pretty humid, but I went to a high school in a town that was about 15,000, and I lived in 3 different towns in that area, one of which was 6,000, which was very different for me, being from the Columbus, Dublin suburb area. So I was a first year, but this was a gap year for me, so it was me and some 15 and 16-year-olds, and I was 18, so you know, but it was a good time. They were all very nice, and I was the only Rotary exchange student in my district and prefecture. One had to leave early, but it was a really cool experience to meet all these people from all over the world in Rotary, as well as just like there were American teachers at my school through the JET program, if anybody's heard of that. And it was just really interesting to be able to travel and have support of 4 host families during my year as a high school exchange student in Japan. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you mention your high school?
It was here or in Japan?
Here.
Dublin, Sayota.
And you speak Japanese?
Some conversational, not as much as I wanted, but then I can just continue like taking classes or studying stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Well, again, we're gonna be blessed by having you as maybe in person, maybe in Zoom, depending on your academic schedule this coming year. Coming back to talk to us in greater depth. We appreciate that. Thanks so much.
See, I got too many things in my hand here.
Hey, Dave. Hey, before you start, could you tell our guests that members who maybe don't know much about that photo of?
Well, you're stealing my thunder.
Please.
I was going to say that, when I was 16, my thrill was my excitement was every month I'd go to the bookstore and get the latest Playboy magazine and see who the centerfold was. When you get to be 78,
Thanks for sharing that with us.
when you get to be 78, your thrill is you get your Rotary magazine and you see the Rotary centerfold is Dave Hansen and our friend in Dominican Republic, Morris Pellet.
And they're both clothed.
So is that good, Darnell? So.
And who's the photographer?
Yeah. So, well, yes, the photographer is an award-winning John Butterfield. The holy grail in Rotary, I'm gonna take up too much time here, but the holy grail is to get in the Rotary magazine, and we've been trying for 25 years to get in the Rotary magazine. And John goes and wins a photo contest, and there we are. But, and seriously, thank you, Tom Rice, for your prayer. I don't know whether you knew what our theme was gonna be, but power of Rotary, we believe, is and international and do this. International and local. Rotary is 1.4 million service-minded men and women belonging to 46,000 Rotary clubs in virtually every country in the world. Rotary strength lies in its ability to connect these individuals, clubs, and other partners and organizations globally to address humanitarian challenges and promote peace and understanding. That's what we believe in Rotary. That's what certainly we believe in international service. And again, I told you this is Morris Tellier. He died a few months ago, and at the time he died, I said he was a good Rotarian and a life well lived. He was 103 years old in that picture. And he was certainly one of the forces behind our work in the DR. We visited him every time we were there. And this is one of our visits. He always had that smile on his face. There's the man he named El Tigre, Mike Moulton. Morris in the younger days, and of course our beloved Judy Bryant, and not quite so gray and maybe a little bit more hair, Dave Hansen. We visited Morris every time we were there, and he was a lifelong Rotarian. He emigrated with his family when he was 5 from Lebanon, so the conditions over there were pretty much as they are now. And he and his family wanted a better life, so at age 5 he came. Started a plastics company with his brother, was district governor of Rotary, multiple Paul Harris fellows. A life well lived, a good man, and an inspiration, and supporter of all of our projects. The most first one was the Barrio Lindo Clinic. This is my ladies, Marianella on my right and Maria Elena on my left. Marianella's father was a community spark plug, and he started, advocated for a clinic to serve Barrio Lindo and 4 other barrios. And so they partnered with Rotary and established the Barrio Lindo Clinic. Maria Elena was a health promoter, and she went into people's homes and realized that they needed a clinic closer to home. So the result was Rotary rented a building, and then we ultimately built the clinic. And we steered all of our efforts around the clinic with the Barrio Lindo Rotary Community Group, which is this group right here. And every time we go down, we meet with them and we design programs. Again, people in action, getting a better life for their community. And all of our programs down there you'll see rotate around two themes. One, good health, and one in education. And that's around economic survival. You can't have economic stability unless you have good health to show up at work
and have the skills that the business community needs. These are the people being served by the clinic. We redid some renovations at one point, and they were getting some communicable diseases like TB from Haitian immigrants. And the staff were right out in the middle of the waiting room. So we remodeled the clinic so that the staff could be away from the disease, people carrying the disease, and we've had a separate waiting room for them too. We put in a dental clinic, and there's Marianella and Marilyn right up front, Will and Curie and myself. We established a pharmacy in the clinic because people would see the doctor and then come out and have medicines or prescriptions, but nowhere to fill them, and they would never get them filled. So we had them right there as they leave the clinic. The TB again was because of the Asian immigrants, so we went with best practice, and that room we dedicated is to treat communicable diseases. It has good ventilation and is apart from the rest of the clinic, so we've done patients don't mix. The other program I think I told you was you gotta have an education, you gotta have the skills that people need in the business community. So we established the DR Youth Scholarship Program. And the gentleman, the kid on the left is Moises. He's one of our, in the class of students right there. And Moises was a boy of the streets. He played basketball, and that's about all he did. He lived with his mother in one room cinder block house. And some of the faculty at EPISA, where we have where the scholarship program is centered, took him under their wing and suggested we give him a scholarship. So we paid the parental portion of the scholarship, and he got an education. This is he and his mother's kitchen before he graduated. This is the kitchen after he got a job to support he and his mother. Jesus, the kid, front row right there, told a story with all these kids. They all, this was our original class of 12. They all spoke, the scholarship gave them a life that they never would have had. Jesus said he and his cousin both were living at home. He got the scholarship. He's now going to college. His cousin is still at home pretty much watching video games. So it's a life changer for these kids. And there's our group that went down in October, one of our newest scholarship recipients. And that's the DR, and I'm pretty much on time. I'll give the cruiser over to David.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's see how this works here. I should know how to do this. No, this is the wrong way. Okay, so as many of you know, I married a Mexican lady many years ago, won't tell you how many years ago, who was from Veracruz, Mexico. And over the years, we built a house there, and we spend about 4 months of the year down there during the winter. While there, I have established some relationships with Rotary clubs in Veracruz, and a number of you have come to visit. We hope many more of you will come to visit to deepen intercultural relationships with Rotarians in Veracruz. One of the highlights of my visit there was to learn about a clinic called the Paul Harris Clinic, where medical services are provided to a poor community to the west of the city of Veracruz. Back in 1959, the municipality of Veracruz gave a city block to the only Rotary club in Veracruz at the time to attend to disabled people. As you can imagine, over the years, it has ebbed and flowed and what have you. And about 15 years ago, it was really in problems, maintenance of the facility primarily. But at that time, a very exceptional lady was brought in to, in a sense, bring the clinic back. And indeed, I'll get to her in a second. This clinic provides basic medical service, not basic medical services, actually provides services through well, through doctors who are actually Rotarians in the community. There's a urologist, a psychologist, anesthesiologist, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of facilities there. Now, as you can see here in front of the Paul Harris Clinic, there is a statue, and here's when George and Wynn came down, I think the first time to visit with us, and they're there in front of this Rotary symbol. One of the first projects that we put together was called a Temazcal. What is a Temazcal? Well, it's a sauna. The people there at the clinic said, we provide health services to people, physical health services, but many of them suffer from mental health problems. And one of the ways that they alleviate these problems is through using a sauna. And so they convinced us to finance this sauna called Quetzalcoatl. You can see here the inauguration, I think was a year ago last April. Darnell came down with me for the inauguration. The local district governor was there, and the Temazcal has been a big success. It's highly utilized by people in the community. Oh, there's another picture of myself with this fascinating lady, Marisa Munoz. Marisa has been an administrator. She's really a very competent person and has ensured that the clinic is on good feet, sound feet now. One of the other projects that we were involved in is an eyeglass campaign, providing exams and then eyeglasses to needy people. And this was a project that actually Christy Bruffy took a great interest in. I think it was 2 years ago, Christy and John came down along with Rachel Dorothy, and they brought along a whole bunch of used eyeglass frames. And over the years now, they've had about 10 different campaigns, that is opportunities for people to come in to get their eyes checked and to get eyeglasses. They served over 600 people and providing them with eyeglasses. This was their latest campaign. You can see it was July 29th through August 1st, I think. I just spoke with Marisa on Sunday. She said they had 42 people taking advantage of this opportunity. Another thing that the clinic does there, and you know, maybe we don't understand this because we have food banks here, but they're what they do is they provide high protein foods to the local community. And you can see here that Dave is involved in distributing eggs to one of the local recipients of this ability. Here's another picture of Darnell also providing eggs to one of the recipients of this benefit. Our most recent project now has been to put in solar panels at the facility. As you can imagine, maintenance, payment of utility costs and what have you are a major obstacle in terms of keeping the clinic going. And these solar panels are going to save them a bunch of money. There was a little delay in getting them in, but on Sunday when Marisa called, she said that they're actually now hooked up to the national electricity network, and things are working well. Just very briefly, I wanted to talk about one person who is located there at the center, the clinic. His name is Miguel Guzman Ochoa. You can see them in a wheelchair there. Very interesting guy. He was a truck driver, and he drove apparel up to the border of the United States. This was apparel created in Mexico. And on this one trip up in the state of Tamaulipas, he and his co-drivers, his navigator, were stopped by a bunch of bandits. And they shot his companion. In fact, he died immediately. Miguel was able to get his pistol out, and unfortunately, he shot, but he only wounded the head of this band. And they pulled him out of the car and really beat him up badly, and then they put him on railroad tracks. And as you can see, he's missing his 2 legs. Somehow he survived that. But Miguel talked about how for a period of over 10 years, I mean, he felt like he would rather be dead than alive. He was requesting alms on the street, what have you, things were terrible. Somehow he found his way here to the Paul Harris Clinic. And what they did there was they established a special living space for him, a bedroom and a bathroom that were suited to a person without legs. And so he serves there now as their night watchman. But recently now, he's also been made a Rotarian in their club. And I think that this is one really, I think, a very a fantastic illustration of how the clinic has made a difference in the lives of people there. As I mentioned, we have this home in Veracruz. It's at 202 Chalchihuaycan Street. We also have free transportation for anybody who comes down. So there's free bed and breakfast, free transportation. But you know, in the volunteer spirit, if you feel like volunteering, you can always help a little bit around the house. That'll make either very happy. Oh, correct. No.
Yeah, the other way. The other way.
There you go. Okay. I'm,
It looks like me, Jim.
oh, you're next. Okay.
Sorry about something.
I have the microphone.
Closer.
You might want the mic.
Well, what a difference 10 years makes. We just celebrated the approval of our global grant for Mongolia 10 years later. COVID didn't stop us. Thank you, everybody. We're gonna remind you with a couple slides as we go here, but Jerry, I hope you're still tuned in because I owe it all to you. I went to Seoul 10 years ago when Connie was president and I was president-elect. And I met our friend Arangu at the House of Friendship in Seoul, Korea. That was a real event, and Jerry had said to me, you know, Tim, you're probably only gonna be Rotary president of your club one time. Why don't you think about doing something audacious? So the most audacious thing I could think of, you guys, was let's ship some books from Ohio to Outer Mongolia. And gratefully, some of you may recall Craig Maxey's year. We got all 5 districts in Ohio to participate, sent 20-some thousand books, and now we're working not only with our sister club there, but the Mongolian Education Alliance, who are doing a pilot program for kind of Mongolian style PTA and literacy, if you will, in 5 pilot clubs in the greater capital area. And we're hopeful that we're gonna be even bigger in a year or two with a grant of more scale. So thank you, Jerry, for the challenge. 7, 8 years ago, I took our first little load of books, courtesy John of the library. Thank you to the Worthington Libraries, previous director there, Chuck Gibson, subsequently went to Mongolia with me, as some of you will recall. But it was at that juncture that I met the fellow, many of you know Arangu on the left. She's been here several times. I hope some of you got to visit with her when she was here back around the 4th of July with her daughter and the NGSE team. But we also met Baksha over on the right. He is the head of the Mongolian Education Alliance. He is the administrative heart and soul of this and leads this pilot project forward because his reach is absolutely all over Mongolia, where we took our books, frankly, all over Mongolia. I guess more about Baksha very soon. This is just a few more slides. Thereafter, our friends from Mongolia made their first trip to Ohio. You'll see holding the sign down on the left, Baksha, who's the executive director of the Mongolian Education Alliance. his assistant in the middle, Haja Arangu to the right. And Bonnie, is Bonnie here? Yeah. And Bonnie, you remember when we went to see OCLC?
Yep.
That was tremendous. And of course, Chuck Gibson, Dave Kittredge, Jim Day and his wife Zula in the back row. So we're really grateful for that relationship. There's another shot. I think that's at OCLC with Chuck Gibson and Argo. Yet another shot. This one includes Steve Heiser. We've been really blessed by leadership in this district and frankly all the way to Rotary International, where Gordon McAnally and Nathan Lubin did us some tremendous service by going to Mongolia and visiting our sister club there last year. But Craig Maxey, Steve Heiser, and several other former district governors were very instrumental in what we've done here. Peggy, thank you so much for those initial introductions. Many of us will remember T.D. Griley fondly, and T.D., God bless him, was certainly a mentor to this project. We even took our favorite Mongolians at that time to the faculty club at OSU. Courtney was our host and he was a little more ambulatory at that point, but we hope he'll be ambulatory again. We went to Highlights for Children and opened some doors there. As many of you know, they're based in Columbus. And then thereafter, again, we actually across 5 districts, we collected almost 40,000 books. And of those 40,000 books, roughly 20,000 were suitable because a bunch of them were beat up. Some of them were about the Easter Bunny, and Mongolia is a pretty Buddhist country. And there were 2 copies of Atlas Shrugged. We weren't taking Atlas Shrugged to go see 10-year-olds. I guess the only other thing I would say about that is if you see that sign that's in front of me, if you could see it a little better, you'd see our club identified in the bottom, and we've got those signs posted in more than a few places across outer Mongolia. This is a couple of years ago. Many of you will recall that we took an outbound NGSE group to Mongolia. Second from the left is Laura Almy from the Circleville Club. 2 more down the row is Anna Schottenstein from Bexley, Marie Hurt from Bexley next to her, and Mary Hamp next to her. And then, of course, down at the other end of the row is our friend Arlengu. So we've had great experiences there. This is for those of you that got to meet our friend Anktoya when she was here with their return NGSE group at the end of June.
Sure.
And she's right there. Anktoya is a social worker. We were able to take her to Franklin County Children's Services because adoptive children is her specialty. We're really grateful to build some bridges there. And I guess the one further note I would make about my good friends at the downtown Ulaanbaatar Rotary Club is I first visited these guys in 1998. In 1998, the country having just made the switch to the free market economy had 1 Rotary Club, this one in Mongolia. Today there's 22 and an equivalent number of Rotaract and a couple Interact clubs. So things are really going great guns in Mongolia, and we're beginning to make Mongolia a very comfortable place to visit here in Ohio. Again, when these folks were here, Jennifer, thank you so much for taking folks to our schools here in Worthington and to Trent as well. But
you will see, I think this is Colonial Elementary, isn't it, Jennifer? Jennifer,
She had to leave, she had a meeting.
thanks, Rob. Anyways, folks really from Mongolia and the Mongolian Education Alliance benefited from, meeting folks in our system. These are some shots of Bacha and us out in the countryside delivering, books. The folks in the top middle slide, Arangu, Zana, our guide, Bacha, Buena, who in the red jacket, who is the star interactor, now Rotarian, well, interactor, then Rotaractor, and now Rotarian. And those of us will remember Chuck fondly when he was with our club. But we went all the way from UB almost to the Kazakh border, which is about 2,500 kilometers in the space of a week, and dropped books. And when we came back to the capital, UB said, wow, that must have been a lot of flying. And we said, no, we drove. And people were kind of flabbergasted. But it's not really just Outer Mongolia anymore. It's becoming rather modern. I think Dave Kittredge and Dave Hansen are talking about perhaps visiting next spring. And we invite any of you that think Mongolia is a sexy place or kind of interesting to consider visiting. I will tell you there's comfortable passage via Narita in Tokyo or Incheon Airport in Seoul. It's pretty easy to get there these days. Again, just a couple more shots of Bacha and us out in the field. And we had a couple awards when Steve was president. And bottom right in that slide, you see Tunga, who's from the Horde Club. She was also here at the end of June. Right above her, I don't know if you'd had a shot of Mary Hamp before. Mary's now a Rotarian in Circleville, in no small measure because of her experience with NGSC, and she is a teacher. She's also indomitable because she got COVID over there and we got home safely despite that. Last but not least, Phil and Shirley, you see yourselves there? Remember collecting those books in that library? Thank you all. We're onward and upward, but we look forward to having more hands-on opportunities for folks in Mongolia.
Just one more person and then a closing comment.
Well, I have to say, why I'm speaking today is quite simple. My wife made me do it. And if you know Anita, you don't want to go against her. So, and why she did was because we were asked to cover two, not one, people in the recent NGSE exchange. And not that she isn't excited about doing it, but she felt that we needed to get to the point where they would have gone someplace else and there was not someone else to do that. And she felt like we were cheating somebody in the club. So that's why I'm here. And it's quite simple. It is through these types of exchanges that many wonderful things comes out of Rotary, not the least of all that we change. And part of what the goals are is that we're looking for social connections. And when I say connections, it's the one-to-one, face-to-face connections that really count. Secondly, there's a sense of community, and sharing those communities change us, not just simply helping the other person. And finally, vocationally, that when we talk about vocation, that's very broad. It's what you do in your day-to-day work. It's what you do in Rotary. It's what you, to some degree, the skills and things that you apply to your own family. So there were a few lessons that we learned Oops, I think I've got them in reverse order. If I can go back. Oh, one. It's not going back. Well, then I'll talk about who was on the prior slide. And that was William, and he was from Romania. That was last year's exchange. And one of the basic lessons that we learn is that flexibility is also important when you're working with another culture and an individual. And one of the things that had happened is through miscommunication. What occurred was through miscommunication, he thought he was going to be staying with his fiancee. He found out at the airport, and because of personal reasons related to the fact that he actually was an orphan at one period and got picked up by a friend, his attachments to people are very important to him, and he becomes quite anxious when that was cut off. And so one of the things that we had to do immediately was kind of be flexible, understand that difference. And in doing that, things actually changed for him. He felt welcome. He felt as though he was going to be part of a real experience. He is not a Rotarian. And one of the basic things that exchanges has is that sense of service above self. That whether or not they're a Rotarian or just an average citizen, service above self is a characteristic that we always see. And while he was staying there, one of the things that developed for him was that he recognized and wanted to do something for the orphanage because he had avoided it, but he knew that the orphanages needed support. And since he was from Romania, during Soviet rule, the orphanages became just storage houses for children. And it's an awful international crisis that occurred in that. And what he began to think about was his own life and that experience of being accepted by us. He began to think about what he could do. And by the time he had left, he was in IT, he'd come up with an idea that he would do workshops on IT security simply for a donation to the local orphanage. And that's what he decided he was going to return to do. That flexibility of being able to find ways, and with the help of Jim Allen, we were thankful that they got together and we worked hard at them being able to spend quality time together, which reassured him. But that flexibility aided a great deal. The next two are Tonga on the left and Enki on the right from Mongolia. One of the things that happens is you begin to understand a different culture. You begin to understand how they see the world, and their own existence becomes into play. Well, this picture is very special in that what they wanted to do most, we took them out on a walk one evening and they loved it. The reason being is they live in a city that is a concrete city, period. There are no grasslands. There is no outdoors. There are no playgrounds. And that became very important for them. And we began to even go to playgrounds so they could make pictures to take back to create a playground. That culture and that circumstance seems foreign to us in Dublin. They loved it. They love being outside. And they're going back to talk about how they could get more playgrounds in the city. The reason that occurred, by the way, is because during Soviet rule, they built the heating for the entire city underground. And they have tremendous homeless problem in that the homeless go underground and end up dying over the winter many times because of the excessive heat there. So those kinds of issues we are familiar with, we wouldn't have recognized. It was through going out and walking through parks that creative idea came up. And that as much is central to what we do, that we start out as Rotarians with the belief and service above self. But through those exchanges, we begin to see the world from somebody else's eyes. We begin to become flexible so that we can gain and engage in true partnerships, understanding other perspectives. No matter what group we've worked with, we've had to change the plan of what we thought they needed to find out what they truly needed. And that's the central part to Rotary. It is those interpersonal connections, that trust, that sharing of our differences that actually makes the world a better place. So, thank you.
We went a little over, but hope you appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well, and don't forget to fill out that there's. There's a feedback form at your tables about the presentation. We'd appreciate if you take just 3 or 4 minutes to fill it out. And to leave it next to the badges when you leave.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you and thank you to the committee. That's, I hope, was inspiring to all as it was to me and to the members of the committee that presented. There are lots of opportunities to get involved. This will prompt your thinking as to that, and please fall in with us. That'd be marvelous. Charlie gets to keep all the money if we don't let him do the raffle now, so.
Yeah, but I have tickets and Jerry Katz has tickets here, so. We'll do that. Would you be survived as the board?
So one person will like me and the rest will roll me outside.
That's right.
So you read it or you?
I would. Have my glasses on.
There you go.
Okay, it's not me or Jerry, because it's the wrong color tickets. Last four, no, that's the wrong number. Let me try again. 5816. Oh.
5816.
All right, victorious. She's a very understated winner. She just kind of.
Which was it?
$54.
$54.
Right, good.
And, yeah, you can take that for. And I'll look and see what. I'm not prepared. The ace of spades is. On here somewhere, there's 446. Maybe one of the young ladies will pull us a ticket, and it's okay if you pull yours, and it happens. Even had her eyes closed the whole time. Very impressive. Last four, 1525. Oh, that might be me.
No wonder you asked her to vote.
1525, it is. Right. Let's see if I can find the ace of spades.
It's one of these.
I put the cards down, but I didn't look at them when I did it.
Don't work for the Bureau of Labor.
2 hearts. So close. That's just like the ace of spades.
All right, well, you know, this time comes, and I say, of the things we think, say and do, first, second, third, fourth. Thanks all. Please fill out your thing and your badges back, and we are adjourned.
Sure.
Any pictures you guys up there? Yes. All right, good. All that email. We actually have. Now I get here so late. I get there already. But I think I've got your email. Yes, I'll print it. On his lap. They couldn't see guys. They like there. Yeah, that's actually probably. They call them say. Yeah, I would say. Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, that's part of it. He's only got one connection, you have. Last year I had, we found it in I only agree with
I just hope we have.
Your father and I, we're doing this among yeah. And the picture like that, they were telling a story, just about a bunch of people.
Thank you.
So we're out to dinner with Chris and oh, yeah. And we started talking about all of as a daughter by Kayla and somebody else.
I'm glad you brought me back.
I was there for one of the connections, and then when I mentioned Barnhart, I was told. Yeah. He wrote some board games.
So the key is that we put
Because
the badges in.
he was flying.
And first thing first.
Okay. Guy.
Yeah.
This club, never mind.
And another connection or two in there somewhere too, but. Yeah.
That's worse.
I'm pretty sure one of his daughters.
Leadership.
Oh, and Chris was the.